Hey everybody, Bohus here speaking for Fotodioxpro.com and GoToughGear.com. I'm nursing a bit of a cold, which you can tell, but I couldn't wait to do an unboxing of the GoPro HERO5 Session camera. These cameras just came out, and we need to crack one of these open and look inside, especially since the prior Hero Session camera was not a popular camera. GoPro even admits, like if you listen to them talk about this new Session, they say things like, "We learned our lesson about the other camera," because they kind of stumbled with that prior camera. Not a bad camera, very underpowered for way too much money. It feels to me like they got it right with this camera. Now we just did an unboxing of the HERO5 Black, which you can see by just clicking right here if you want. But what I can tell you about this camera is that they're using the same sensor as in this guy. This is the HERO4 Black, which was the top of the line, the last generation. With the HERO5s, they haven't moved the sensor technology forward, although they have added one very cool feature that we'll get to in a minute. But really, this is an awesome camera already. So what they have added is just way more convenience, way more of an ecosystem. They've made it easier to get at the power that this camera offers, plus a lot of other frills that you're gonna like. Now we're gonna unbox this camera, and then I will follow up with a video that's a real detailed rundown of what's going on inside this camera. One thing that annoys me about a lot of YouTube reviews, they are frequently somebody who's like reading the back of the box to you, or they're reading like the spec sheet off of the website. That is very little value to me. I actually go way back with GoPro. I was one of the first guys to put GoPro on national TV, so I'm a big fan. I still have my GoPro 1. So I love these cameras and I love everything that they can do. So I will give you a nice good discussion about what this camera is capable of in the video that comes up after this one. All right, let's get this guy open. Typical GoPro packaging, domed top. You can do a touchy feel, well, you can't touch it, but you can look at the camera and dream about the adventures that lay within. At the bottom is one of these clear sticker spots that are nearly impossible to get through without a machete. Okay, I had to resort to using my teeth. I really hope my dentist David isn't watching this right now. All right, let's fly this open. All right, and on the bottom is this inscrutable symbol. I think it means to tear this open. And nothing happens. All right, so then there's a tab here. I'll pull it. There we go. Okay. Camera and box. You know what's funny is I always keep these plastic domes even though they're not for anything. They're just, I don't know, they're thick plastic. They seem too nice to throw away, but I'm going to throw mine away right there. Okay. As is typical, the camera comes on one of these platforms. Give it a yank. Don't be afraid of it. Like so. And it's on the typical kind of buckle release, the quick release. You pull this rubber part up, like so, and that's what releases these jaws so you can get it out. And I usually keep this part as well. This is handy for drilling some holes in or taping down or something like that. Mount your camera someplace. Okay, so let us remove that screw thusly. It says to remove that bit, so away it goes, and there we are. Now at the bottom of the camera, well, I should say the camera cage, is what I call the Go prong. That's what all your mounting accessories go on. And what's great is it's the same as it's always been. So all of those various mounts that you've bought over the years still work, including the GoTough line of accessories that we make that are all aluminum, which we'll look at in a minute. But I'm glad that they haven't somehow left us behind. So anyway, that's the camera, that's the mount. Let's see what comes in the box. Come here now. Oh boy. I'm being vexed by a cardboard box. No, wait, there we go. So inside is a quick release thing. It's got the adhesive on the back that's flat. Same thing, square and round. So that goes like on a helmet or something like that, maybe a bike. And then here's the cable. Now in prior generations, this has been the USB cable that went to USB to USB Mini. With the Session, the earlier Session, it went from USB to USB Micro, which is the same as Android phones use. And This one, it goes from USB to something custom. I hate custom cables, because if you're on vacation and you lose this, then you're boned. It says that it's USB something on the side of the camera, so maybe this is a new kind of USB I haven't seen yet. Not feeling good about that. Okay, so they're including fewer accessories than they have in the past. There should be a manual in here. Here we go, I almost missed it. Sorry, in the crazy origami that, oh, for corn's sake. All right, there it is. You get a little packet of stuff. All right, let's see. You get the startup book. Now there's very little here to get you started. You really have to go on the web to get the real manual. It's enough to like sort of turn the thing on. Then they've advertised this a lot. The "you break it, we'll replace it." That's their warranty. I don't know if it's something that you pay for or what the story is, but I think it is. I think you have to pay for it. Then there's their cloud system. Now they made. I saw GoPro at a trade show a couple weeks ago, and I was looking into this new camera and stuff, and they were very into this like ecosystem, that the camera is not a camera, it is the core of a whole experience system. The idea being that like you go out and you shoot your stuff, and then when you plug this in to recharge it, it is seamlessly downloading your footage, putting it up in the cloud, and then you've got apps on your phone or on your laptop, and it is seamlessly offering you that footage, and you can edit merrily when you're done, which is actually kind of cool. The thing is that you're gonna have to pay for the cloud access, which is fair, I guess, but you're basically going to subscribe to your device, the same way that you pay a monthly fee for your cell phone. I'm imagining you'll pay something to have the cloud access. But okay, details about that, and of course, stickers. Everybody loves stickers. Should we do GoTough stickers? You tell us in the comments below. So let's ignore this stuff for the moment. Okay, the camera. It is this really cool cube shape, like the Session was. I mean, the Session 4, made waves by, changing the form factor of the GoPro. The GoPro had always been sort of a vaguely camera-shaped camera, and then they went to this cube. And the cube was nice for a couple reasons. One is, as soon as I can get it out of this cage, I'll show you. Of course, I'm getting fingerprints all over the front lens. There we go. So the nice thing with the cube is that it doesn't change dimensions whichever way you face it. Okay, whereas like, this is kind of wide and flat. So if you wanted to put this like on the side of your helmet because you're biking, well, you've got this big flap sticking out the side, whereas this on the side of your helmet is a little more compact. Also, it has sensors inside, so it knows which direction you are mounting it, and it'll write the image so that it records the image correctly. So let's see, this is my first look at it in real life. It looks exactly like the prior gen. There's just this one little door you can open. And there it is. It's got a little bit of a gasket there to keep it sealed. Now, one thing to keep in mind is when you're messing around with the camera, you should do this on dry land, someplace nice and clean. Because if you get like a little speck of sand in the gasket, that's enough to let water leak in. So you want to make sure that's nice and clean. So inside is the card slot, and then the custom not USB slot. This does not have an HDMI output or anything like that. So you have to just watch the footage on your phone or take the card out and put it on a laptop if you're going to watch it on a television. Okay, that's pretty much it, because the claim to fame of this guy is that it operates with this one main button on top and this one little button in the back. The battery is built in, so you cannot swap batteries during a shoot. So once this thing goes flat, the fun's over. With the larger GoPros, you are able to either clip on extra battery packs from the outside, or you're able to put more battery packs inside. But with this guy, sadly, you can't do that. This also doesn't have a screen. The new GoPro HERO5 Black has the screen built in, so you can do all of your various selections of all the modes and stuff. You can do those from the camera itself without anything else. With this, you're going to want to have a phone nearby that's running the app. But still, very nice to have this little form factor. The problem with the Session 4, which was the first attempt at this kind of cube form factor, is that you were paying a real premium for the size. And the sensor wasn't really all that great in it. In fact, it was kind of a last-gen sensor at the time. GoPro has done it right this time around. The sensor in here is the same as what is in the HERO4 Black, which was the top of the line last gen camera. And there's still, I mean, it's 4K. So there's still lots of quality to be had from that. And I'm glad. They've actually just refined how you work with that sensor. And I'm glad they didn't push the technology that much further, because not a lot of us are watching, what, 8K? What was going to come next? There are fewer frame rates and image sizes, I should say video sizes in this camera versus the Black, but I don't think it's a huge compromise, and you're saving a bunch of money over the Black as well. So this does seem to me like much more of a fair deal than it was before. And again, if you're looking for something simple that you can just start with one button and start shooting right away, the Session is good for that. It's also already waterproof. You don't need to put this in an additional case. You can just throw this in the water with you, and you're off and splashing around. Now, GoPro has put a bunch of engineering into the microphones of this camera and of the Session, the HERO5 Black. The idea is they want the sound to sound really good underwater, which is actually unusual. A hydrophone kind of microphone is already a difficult enough thing to master. But they want the audio to sound great once you come out of the water too. So they've engineered the case so that the water drains out of it faster. Also, there are multiple microphones built into the camera, so that if you're in a noisy environment, you can actually set it to choose which microphone is getting the best sound. You know, the one that has the least wind in it, or things like that. So it's got some more intelligent audio mixing built in, which is pretty significant. Also, the cameras have speech recognition, in that you can tell the camera, you know, start filming me now, or take a picture, and things like that. That's a feature that they're pushing a lot in the demo videos. And while at first it seemed kind of gimmicky to me, I do get it. A lot of times the camera is mounted in a place you can't get at it. That's the whole point of these cameras, is to put the camera where you can't put a regular camera. So if it's up in a tree or it's glued to the back of your head, you're going to want to be able to say, hey, camera, start rolling. That is actually a pretty cool feature. There's also a spot on here where you can lash the camera, so that, you know, you can mount it onto your surfboard or whatever, that if it breaks free of the mount, you won't lose it. It'll still be tied on somehow. So, nice form factor. It feels like they got the feature set right. You just need to make sure you've got your phone nearby, or GoPro's own remote is nearby, so you can operate the more esoteric features. Now, if you're a shooter who's using the Session camera already, the GoPro 4 Session, this is a great upgrade to that camera. You get 4K, you get lots of the functionality of the Black camera without the cost. You also get image stabilization. This is the first generation of GoPros to offer that, which is really nice. The thing is, when you're trying to like capture an experience you're having, you know, like skiing or swimming or something like that, your mind doesn't remember a lot of jitter. You know, our minds kind of have image stabilization built in. So for the first time, these cameras have that. And normally I'm not into digital stabilization, because the cost of using that function is resolution. Normally it kind of shrinks your image a little bit to kind of level things out, and everything looks kind of soft and bleh. It's not a good mode. But GoPro system is very, very clever. What the guys at GoPro told me is that they're using a little extra sensor size to, you know, kind of oversample the image. I'm going to use it myself, and I'm going to crack this nut and figure out exactly how they're doing it. But the demo footage I looked amazing, and that might be reason alone to make the upgrade. So let's put this guy back in the cage that's included, thusly, and I put it in backwards, in fact. And I forgot that that's easy to get wrong. There we go. Okay, so now let's try it out with some of these accessories I mentioned before, the GoTough stuff. Okay, now the standard kit includes some mounting accessories. Like this is the plastic, you know, adhesive-backed quick release guy. It's nice, it's lightweight and stuff, but sometimes you need one that can take a beating. So I've got the GoTough Gear one that's all aluminum. Comes in various colors, and you'll notice it's got mounting holes built in. So you can mount this onto any kind of wood or fiberglass, something like that. If you want this mount to stay permanently attached to something, you can do that. It's also got a 1/4-20 thread in the middle, so you can use this as a tripod plate as well. But it works just like any of the other guys. Just mount the GoPro on its quick release buckle there, and you know what, instead of the plastic screw. Let's use one of our aluminum screws, and you'll notice it matches that plate really nice. Flip that rubber guy up, snap it into place, rubber guy back. There you go. You've got a nice solid aluminum mounting system in place. Now let's go a little further than that. GoPro used to include extension arms with these kits, and they're plastic arms that would let you basically take the GoPro and extend it so you could be further and further away from the quick release buckle. They don't do that anymore. They don't include it anymore. And they had a weird property in that each one you added turned the camera 90 degrees. So what would happen to me a lot of times is I would rig up multiple arms to get the camera exactly where I wanted it to be, and it would be facing the wrong way. So at GoTough, we created a couple different solutions for that. One, we've got our own extension arms that are all metal, and they just go straight through. So you can just mount these guys. You can mount as many of them as you want in a row, and the tightening nut is built right in. So there's no way you can lose the tightening nut like on the original GoPro mounts. Or we've got these little guys. This is for when you just need a little stretch, and notice these come in two different varieties. One extension arm goes straight through, that's the extender, and then we've got the extender 90, which turns at 90 degrees for those times when you want the camera to turn 90 degrees. Again, come in various different colors, all aluminum, and basically stack as many of these as you want. So you could extend this guy kind of like so. Again, clip it back in wherever you want it. Sometimes these thumb screws can be a little bit of trouble to loosen up, so we've got our shark bite wrench, which fits right over that thumb screw end. You can also use an Allen key if you want, if you happen to have just built some IKEA furniture and have Allen keys laying around, but that can be handy too. Still, shark bite's a nice thing to have around, plus bottle opener on that end, so can't beat that. If you're just looking for a simple tripod mount, we have a simpler mount. It's just GoPro on that end, tripod mount on this end. In fact, let's match it up like so. The screws come in various lengths, just like regular GoPro ones. But check this out. We even have, let me move these guys out of the way, the Tabletop Tripod. This is a miniature tripod. Put the GoPro on there like so. And at the top is a ball head, so you can angle this wherever you want. There are also screw threads in the legs for adding additional accessories. Plus, notice that the legs are slightly bowed. Not only does that look cool, but when you pick these guys up, the bowed legs fit in your hand very nice to act as a handle. So when you're running around doing your run and gun GoPro work, you can just quickly deploy, drop this on a tabletop, or poke it in the sand like that, and you're ready to have a nice stable shot with your GoPro. So the Session is still a really versatile camera, and as I said, they finally created a camera that's not a big compromise to get into. If you're looking to get a GoPro for the first time, the Session might be the one for you, because you get a lot of the same shooting modes as you do with the Black, but you save a whole bunch of money going with a smaller camera. And as you've seen, the Session can still use the whole giant ecosystem of accessories that are out there for GoPro cameras. So it's a nice deal. GoPro finally got the Session right. Now in the video following this one, I will give you a very thorough rundown of what's going on inside the Session camera and what it's like to work with it. I've seen a lot of YouTube reviews that are basically somebody reading the back of the box to you or reading a spec sheet off of GoPro's website. That's not what this is going to be. I go way back with GoPro stuff and shooting GoPro. I'm going to give you a really nice rundown of real life with the GoPro Session camera. If you want to check out more of our videos or subscribe to get more videos just like this one, click right here. I won't have a cold in those videos, I promise. And don't forget to click right below this video and you'll be taken to a page with all kinds of GoPro accessories that you can check out for this and other GoPro cameras. My name's Bohus. Thanks for watching.